list, right? So we'll talk about dictionaries. Dictionaries basically, that it's a key value pair. It's a collection of data which is in the format of key value pair. Okay, it's quite like similar to list and tuple, but it has having key value pair. It's a little bit different. Okay, so let me show you the method. Yeah, so let me show you the method that that we use. Okay, so let me do that. Second. So let me create a dictionary here.
Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, thank you. Hi there.
yeah. Hi, hi. So here what we are doing, we are just creating a dictionary. Let me create a very small dictionary.
Both key and value has to be in the quote, right? Dictionary.
What are you saying?
Both both key and value has to be in the quote, right? Single or double,
Uh,
both, right?
yes, yes, yes. But it depends actually. Suppose, let me tell you. Oh, okay.
If it
It's an
is a
integer.
string single quote,
Instead of string, it's an integer. Okay.
okay. If it is a string, it can be single or double. Both quote will work, right?
Yeah. So instead of integer, if I give string, right? So what is happening here? I don't have to give quotes, right? I don't have to give quotes, right?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And how do you print? You already know, right? How do you print a value? You have to give dict, okay, and you have to give your the key name, and that's it. Here I'll just do clear everything. It's not defined. 1 second, guys. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I have to use code. Yeah. So I'm getting it. Okay. So this is the output method, and there is another method that I can use instead of this. Okay. So dot get and then give a. What I did here, I used the dot get method on the dictionary class. Okay, I use this. Okay, that's what I did. I'm able to access it. Okay, and if you want to, suppose you want to add more items to it, right? Okay, so what you can do, so I want to add probably D. Okay, equal to 6. I'm able to get the dictionary printed, displayed here. which is having three items, key value pair. Okay, so I just added a dictionary. Okay, so suppose you want to delete a value, right? So you can use the delete method here. Okay, del uh, you have this dictionary here, dct dict. Okay, and which one you want to delete? I want to probably delete the first item. Then I want to print it. Okay, so it is deleted. Okay, and there must be some other methods also available, so let me just check that. It dir dict. So I have this these methods. Okay, so I have the get method, items method, keys method, pop, which will delete the item and show that last item will show, pop item, update values, all these things, right? So what I will do, I will use the item method. Okay, let me do that. So just I don't want to print it again, so I just give it hash. Okay, here I will use items, not item. So if I just don't give parentheses, right, normal this, so this will probably show the memory location. Okay, if you want to get the thing right, then you need to give a first quote. Okay, double quote, you need, I mean, this one into bracket you need to use, so you'll get the items. Okay, items mean what? Key value pair. If you just want the keys, right, just want the keys, you can use this keys. Okay, enter, you get the keys. Okay, you get the keys. And if you just want the values, then values. Okay, these things are very necessary when we use the loop. I'll show the loop and all, so that will be very important. See, only the values are waiting. So this is how we do it. Okay, suppose you want to use the pop method, right? You already know what does pop method do, right? So dict dot pop, let's print out the dictionary here, clear. Okay, pop experience is 101 got 0. Okay, so I want to pop method, right? 1 second. So I want to clear key. No problem. A B C D. So A B C D C D D. Dictate pop type or unhashable type list. Unhashable type list, type error. I'm getting a type error here. What could be the reason here? Why I'm not able to use the pop method here?
will give you pop will delete the extreme right row, right key value pair, right? Maybe it can give D colon without any parentheses. Just
Yeah,
colon
just keep
double
the
quote
D here.
D, then close the
Just
parenthesis.
so it will delete the item that is defined by this key D, right? So if we do that, yeah, it is working. Okay, we don't have to give that bracket we do not have to give, so this will delete this item. So instead of that, if we have done the item like C, right, instead of D we have done C, it will delete the C. Okay, it's not like the last item is good, you have to give the key you have to give the key name. Okay, it will do that. Okay, and if you suppose, you can also do an assignment. Okay, x equal to this, you can have to type obviously x equal to DICT, and then you print out x, you can do assignment. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, and suppose you are trying to
Can
talk
we append a dictionary using append function?
append function, right?
It will work, right?
Let me check.
The
Let me check.
append function. No, no, the append function was there. I can see. We can see, right?
DICT dot append. No, no, no.
Not there.
That is
So you
not
have
there.
to assign.
How do I know
You have
this?
to assign.
Then I'll just use dir
No, no, you have to assign only. Got it.
and I use DICT. Enter here. So let me just minimize this. So what I have is, I have update keys, pop item, copy. I don't have extend, right? So I do not have append method here, so I really cannot do this. So one way of doing is, I already showed you that you just do this. Okay, like we had a dictionary with two items, you want additional item, you can just do this. You give the key value pair here, DICT key equal to value, and then it will update the dictionary, right? So this is one way of doing it. Okay,
Yes, so it is different from the list. In list we can append, but in dictionary we cannot append using the append function.
yeah, because in list we do not have key value, right? We do not have key value, we have only one item, right? So like we have separate items, right? But here we have the key value pair, right? So it will always be different. So like, drink some water. So now we'll talk about operators. Operators.
In the state we do not use set, right? We use only list and dictionary, right?
What are you saying?
We do not use set in the automation, right? We do not use set, right?
Set? No, no,
Set.
no, 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 no. Set also I can show if you want, but we don't use set. Yeah, we
No,
only
no. I
use
just
mostly.
asking. We do not need, right?
No, 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 no. Mostly we use list and dictionaries. That's it. List and dictionary. In Python, Ansible is different, but in Python we use list and dictionary mostly. Mostly dictionary. No set, no tuple. But tuple also we can use, but set we don't use. Okay.
This is relate to the storage automation there, or like in overall, you see.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we use list and dictionary as you suggested, right? So it is from the automation standpoint, storage automation standpoint, or as an overall?
Yeah, storage automation standpoint. That means that whenever you want to pass some arguments into the class functions, right? So what you
Okay.
do, you either pass dictionary or list. We don't use set. No,
Okay. Okay.
because and we don't use tuple because we don't want read only or mutable data. And set also you can uh, suppose you are doing something, right? You can oddly like you cannot have repeated items, right? Okay, so that is the thing,
Okay.
because suppose you want to get the volume name in a v server, right? So you have to give the v server in many places, right? Same v server name. So its set is does not work. The main thing that works is dictionary, because suppose you want to create a volume, right? So what you have to give, you have to give the volume name, volume size unit, data v server name, junction path, security style. All these things are dictionaries. The data type is dictionary. You understand, right? Volume name colon, then volume name, size colon
Yeah,
50.
right.
Yeah, so that is the thing here. We'll create our own
Uh,
scripts, okay, in
Once again,
Python.
yeah, in this NetApp, this key, that is the volume name, the server name, these are the keys, right? These are already predefined in the NetApp class, OnTap class, right? Or OnTap
Yes,
package.
yes,
It is
yes.
already
No, no, no.
predefined there.
Yes, it is predefined. The class is there. The optional, see, some variables, some data is optional, like your snapshot policy. So you'll have the classes, and there they will mention like which is optional and which is mandatory. So there are a lot of things will be optional. A junction path is optional because you know that for SAN you don't require
Yeah, I
junction
got
path,
it, I
right?
got it, I got it. I got it.
Yeah, so they'll be optional, so you can use that. We don't use set. Trust me, don't use set. Okay. The- there are
Yeah,
different ways of doing things. Some people will do in different ways. I'm talking about they will use some setter function, getter function, decorators, generators, but we don't need to complicate. We'll just use simple classes that NetApp has done, and we'll just use it. Not make our code complicated. Just use simple things. Yeah. Somebody is pinging me once again. Okay, no problem. So yeah. So let me talk about the thing that I was talking, right? So what I was talking, yeah, I was talking about operators, okay? I was talking operators. So we have different operators in Python. We have arithmetic operator, we have logical operator, we have comparison operator, we have assignment operator, and we have membership operators. Okay. So what do you mean by arithmetic operators? Which is very simple. Okay. Arithmetic operators, simple. That is addition, subtraction, multiplication, okay, division, modulus. Modulus means you'll get the thing that is left, right? So these things are there. You're not going to use it much, but logical operators will use, okay? Logical will use it, okay? In some cases, logical use it. And operator we have, okay? Or operator we have, okay? Not operator we have. Suppose we want to we want to get a volume which is not in a particular aggregate. Okay, so like if vol not in aggregate, then we'll do this. Okay, so we'll use our logical operators with conditional statement or loops. Okay, that's how we need to know this. Not is the opposite of true, like it's, it's like opposite, not operator. Okay, and we have comparison operators which we also use. Suppose we have lot of V servers or SVMs, okay, and we want to find out the volume for data one SVM. Okay, then if you will do if V server equal to data one, then do this. You understand, right? So like that we'll do. We have to understand the logic, and that's how we'll do it. Okay, so we have the equality operator. So let me just comparison. Okay, equal to, one second, sorry, equal to operator. Okay, we have not equal to is also required. Like if the volume is not offline, suppose you might have some volume which is offline, so you really don't want to check the usage statistics of those volumes, right? This is offline anyway, so if volume state is not offline, then do this like that. Okay, so like this you will do. Okay, greater than, less than, that is there, it's not that much usable. Okay, equal to is there, and you also you've done this. Okay, lot of things are there, it's not required. Okay, not required. Okay, this comparison. Okay, and then So these are the things are there. We don't use that much, and membership also we don't use much. Okay. Now we talk about conditional statements. Conditional statements. So whenever you want to define a logic, there you need to find out, you need to give some conditions like if else, elif, you need to put it. Okay. If statement means if you are using if statement, so it will evaluate the block inside the if statement. If it is true, then that block will be executed. Like if one greater than two, sorry, if one less than two, then you give a block. So then it will go there. If condition, if it is true, if it states a true, then only the block which is inside that if it will be executed. Okay, it will be executed. Let me show you one small thing, small program. 1 second. In Python, we'll create our own scripts. Okay, Ansible also, and with this one also, Python also. So before this, I'll just need to, let's say 10. Six. This less, right? This less than now one equal obviously print. Indentation is very important here. When I go into the next step, right? Python, the Visual Studio already indented the code. Okay, if there is any issue, it will show as red color. Okay, you will be able to understand, and when you execute the code, it will give you an indentation exception, indentation error. Okay. Okay. Now code is bigger. I just type it. Just execute this. Okay, now it is bigger. So what happened? We have declared two variables, num1 and num2, and then we wrote an if statement. If the if statement is evaluates to true, then only the block which is inside that if statement will get executed. Okay, will get executed. So these are the thing. And if you want to do nested if, you can do nested if means if num3 equal to 0, not equal to 0, then print acha mom and num. Okay, num. Type it. We can see here, and there's another way of doing things which I dot format. It's not working. So yes, dot format. Okay, let's see whether I'm able to execute or not. No, it's not working. Okay. I'll check this out. Okay, I used this extensively, not now, but I used it a lot of time, which is not working. But I will check it. Okay, so there is a way you can pass the integers inside the string, okay, and that will be executed. So I used to use .f dot format, it's not working somehow. So I'll check how to use that. Okay, I'll check it. Okay, here dot format. Okay, I'll check this one. Expected pressure, no problem. I'll check this one. So I just wanted to print out the integer. It said the string. Okay, it said that, yeah, I wanted to print this variable. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do. Anyway, it's not working. No problem. So we have seen the nested if statement. Okay. Now we can check the else statement. Okay. If num2 less than that, you print this. Else, okay, what you do? You print num2 is big, and here you just do opposite. Enter. It will go by num2 is less than no. Ah, okay. One second. Speaker, speaker, speaker. Strike it. So it's the if statement is false, so it is not going inside that block. It is printing out the else statement. Okay, else statement. Okay, and some people they will use a finary block. Okay, finary block means if you it will execute it, whatever executes, if and else it will execute, and then finally block will be executed. But we don't use it in Python. I mean in automation, but there is a block like finally. Okay, so one second, why it's giving me an error.
Finally means, I mean, ultimate if none of the condition is applied, then finally, right?
Yeah. If nothing goes on, like if everything here, it will go like if else is getting printed and then finally will be printed. Okay, I don't know why it's coming as problem. So there is some probably something I need to do anyway. So it's we don't use it much, but this is a statement we had. Okay, so if else, okay, if else you can do. Okay, and suppose there is a work that where you have to, you know, evaluate multiple conditions. Okay, then you can use elif statement, multiple conditions. Okay, you can use elif. Okay, so let me show you this. If this is done, then elif num2 then equal to num1. Here you can print just print anything, any just print anything. And then again you do another one, elif num2 less than equal to num1. Print something here.
What is the indentation of elif? I mean, it will go in the right, right? In the second elif, it will go to the right.
Yeah,
Masking.
yeah. So
If
it will be same actually. Indentation will be same. See, these blocks will be same. If elif indentation will be same actually.
and
It should
else
be same.
also. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
If
else
and
also,
elif
yes.
indentation will be same.
It will be same. It will be same. Num2 less than. same. I don't know why it's coming as this. Expected. Second guess. What is happening? Oh, oh, oh. I did a mistake. You know what mistake I did, right? Can you tell me what mistake I did?
Else, in the else, there will be a dot, and that line will be the next line.
Yeah.
Else will be colon, and the num2 would get
Else
a
is yeah.
next
Else is
line.
not like this. Else is if if this if this statements are done, fine, or else you need to print out this. So you do not have to give any evaluations. You don't have to give anything, and you just print it out. So you don't have to give any statement. Else. So here, just clear this out and then type it out. Num2, okay. So else if elif means, so you have a if statement. It will check the first thing if num2 is greater than num1, okay, and this is evaluates to true only. So that's why this evaluates to false only. So that's why it will not go into that inside the print statement, and then the control will shift to the elif statement, the next statement, okay, and it will check whether the num1 is greater than equal to num2, okay. If it evaluates to true, then it will be executed, otherwise, okay. Okay, so elif this statement is false, okay, so this statement is true, so it is going. If it is not true, then what will happen? It will go to the next control here, okay. Suppose it's false again, it is coming num2, right? Here 1 second. Num2 is what? Num2 is 6, okay. Okay, so num2 you see right here, see here, num, okay, num2, okay. So here it is false, right? Because num2 is 6 and num1 is 10, so it is false. So it is control is going to the third statement, okay, and it is evaluates to true, so it is printing it out, okay. So that's what it is doing, okay, that's what it is doing, okay. Suppose I was talking the finally block, right? So like kind of like finally block will be executed. I don't know why it's not showing. I'll check that thing, I have to check the finally block. So but we do not use it automation, but it's something that I used to do because sometimes we want to after the code, right, you want to give something like finally the code is executed, the volume is created, something like that, the volume is created, okay. And in Python, suppose in REST API, right, you have synchronous and asynchronous operations. Suppose you want to create a volume, right, so it takes some time, so it's an asynchronous operation, right? So at that time I want the script to wait for it. What I do, I use sleep. I use sleep keyword so that the scripts wait for the execution to happen, and then it will go to the next control, go to the next, okay. So that's what I do. And she will also have some way of sleeping. I have to I forgot actually, once I do the training I'll remember. So sleep is the command that we give, okay, because not every command in NetApp is synchronous. Synchronous means within 3 seconds it has to be executed. If it takes more than 3 seconds, then it's a asynchronous operation. So anyway, so I'm really upset that finally block is not working. I don't know why. I have to check that, okay. So everything, every
Actually,
code is
finally will work. Uh, Hello. Actually, the
yeah.
final will work if none of the code is being executed. Then the final will work
Yeah, that
because
is fine.
here the
Yeah, that is
else is
yeah,
working. That is separate something.
yeah, that is true. But finally, the code is like it's showing us red. Why it's showing us red? That's the problem. That's what I'm thinking. Why it's showing us red? See,
So
it is showing
see,
us red.
the previously all the conditions are being executed, right? That's why. If none of the condition is being executed, then the final will work, right?
Yeah, that is
Try
true.
catch.
But I should be able to create the finally block, right? I should be
It's not
able to, right? So
working
it is
because previous codes are being executed. If none of the codes is executed, then it will work. Just
okay.
give some
See,
wrong logic, then finally will work.
see
Give
here,
some wrong
nothing will
logic.
execute. Okay, okay. Let me just do this. So here, nothing will execute. Okay, let me give a hash and enter it. Nothing will execute. Okay, Still I'm not able to give finally, right? You understand my point?
Okay.
Where I'm able to give. It is there, finally is there, but I'm not able to give. So anyway, no problem. So yeah, it's not much an issue here. Now we'll talk about iterations. Okay. Iterations.
One second. In I have a small question. Like if I have to perform some, I mean, volume precise. Maybe I want to increase the volume by 100 GB. Then I have to perform some arithmetic operation, right? But
Hmm.
in Java, I sorry, in Python, it is being treated as an append operation. Like if I give 1000 GB plus 500, then it might become 1000 then 500. So how to perform a arithmetic addition without appending it? Because you maybe 5 GB, I am adding to 5 GB, then it might become 55 GB, not 10 GB. So how to perform that?
Okay, no problem. So I will show that when I show you automation, right? So there
No, no,
we'll
no,
use the
no, no.
volume class.
Just simply show. No, no, just simply show us one arithmetic operation like plus
Oh, okay, okay.
addition, not that thing, just plus addition.
You're talking about this. Okay. You're talking about this. Print sum is comma num1 plus num. Yes, simple as this.
We
Simple.
have to add the variable, not the value. Then it will work. Okay.
Yeah.
We have to add the variable, not the value. Got it?
Now we will talk about the iteration statements, iterators. Okay. Iteration means suppose you have some statements or some logic and you want to loop it through multiple times. Okay, then use iterations. You have a code but you want to loop it again and again, then you need to use iterations. In Python we have two ways of doing things. For loop is there and while loop is there. Okay, using a for loop you can iterate through a different kind of data types like lists, tuples, dictionaries. Okay, what is to be the syntax of for loop? It is very easy. For I in, and then you have to give that list or whatever you have. Okay, colon, and then you give this print I or something. Okay, this will be the syntax. Okay, here I is basically any variable, or any variable where it's actually taking the items of the list. Okay, suppose the list is having like 1 2 3, right? So first 1 is being assigned to I, then 2, then 3. Okay. Okay, so let me show you this. Let me show you one example. It's very easy. Let me create a list. So something I've created. Let me give some IDs, something easy. So let me use the for loop here. 1 second. For I in IDs, okay. Print I. So what it will print? It will print all the items from the list. Okay. Here, mosquitoes are there. Why? 1 2 3. Okay, so it is printing. So here it is doing, we're using a for loop to iterate over this list. Okay, so how it is working? So during the first iteration time, the item from the list which is basically at index 0, which is 1, it is basically assigned to the I variable, okay, and then it is printing on the screen. And during the second iteration, the second item from the list is stored in the I variable, and then it is getting printed, okay. So that's how it is being done, okay. And there is one more thing which I wanted to show you yesterday, so that is the range function, okay, which is a very important function. Suppose you want to, you want to execute a particular statement, right, and that statement is not a list, okay, so you can use a range function to do this, okay. So let me show you this. Suppose you want to execute some loop for 2 times, 3 times, right, so you can use the range function, okay. Like, what is range function? The range print range this, okay, 1 second, sorry, obviously I have to give the number, so 4, basically 04, okay, you are getting this, okay, you are getting it, see. So what are you getting? 0, 1, 2, 0, 4. The thing is, the thing is, here I'm getting an exception. When I'm not giving any number here, I'm getting an exception. I'm getting error, type error. Okay. So you need to use exception handling to avoid this runtime error, which I'll show you in one session. But let me show you this range function. Okay. So in range function, what it is doing, it is basically returning a sequence. Okay. So here I'm giving 4, right? So it is giving me a sequence from 0 to 4. Okay. 0 to 4. Suppose you want to do something else, right? Suppose you want to start from 10 and you want to end at 50. Okay. You can do that. Execute it. 10, 50, right? So you can do this, and you can use step also. Step means it will step something from there. Okay. So what you need to do is, okay, so let me show you this. So this is a range function, right? So let me just remove this a bit, and 12x, okay, for I in 12, okay, sorry, what is I'm going. So for I in this, if I print this, right, so how many things I'll get? Print I, simple this, not much.
into
You
50.
just print it here. See, 10, 11, 12, up to 14 I'm getting, right, because it will always be, the last. So, and then suppose I want to do something else, like I want to do it like step 5, okay. Step 5 means 10, then 15, then 20, then 25, okay. It will like step 5. 5 is a step, okay. You can do this, okay. And suppose I have some statement, something, okay, like let's say, second, okay. So this is basically a string, so it will put like n I k, I don't know why it's not getting executed, yeah, n I k,
Okay.
yeah, it's doing this. It's basically iterating over a string, and initially I was iterating over a list, and then I was iterating over a function, range function, okay. I'm doing that, okay. So that's what I'm doing. In C it is difficult, right? In C you have to give 3 statements inside a parenthesis, right? But Python is very simple, and we'll be doing the same thing here. And Ansible is much simpler. Ansible and Terraform which are simpler than Python, because those are like readable, human readable things. It's not really programming. Okay. Now we'll talk about while loop. Okay. Spinning me. Okay. That's my O student. Okay. So he is actually working as a lead in Kindle. He is having like 150 people under him, but he wants to change his career to cloud security. Okay, because he's getting bored. He's been working since 22 years, so he's getting bored. So he wants cloud security. So now he's learning that anyway. So for loops we have seen, right? Okay, but in for loops what is happening? We're not able to give any any statement, right? Any condition, right? Any termination condition, right? We're not able to give, right? So suppose you have a statement like you want to print out, sorry, you want to display the first 50 volumes or first two aggregates, something like that. Okay, so in that case you need some expression or some statement, right? Some conditions, right? Not statement, it will be condition, some condition, right? So the for loop will not be handy in that case. You can use while loop. Okay, while loop is much better. So let me give you an example. What do I mean by that? So I equal to, let's say I equal to 10. Okay, so while and I have to give the statement conditions. I have to give the conditions I plus 1. Okay, or there is another one is that I plus equal to 1. This is a shortened form. Okay, shortened form. So let me execute, clear this first here, and let me execute it first. Okay, okay, it is not printing anything. One second, what happened? 1 second, guys.
Put I is equal to 0. Put I is equal to 0.
Sorry, I equal to 10. Yes, because it's, yeah, 0 or 3. Yes, exactly. Because anyway it has to execute, right? If it is 10, then obviously it's false, so it's not work. Yeah, obviously, yeah. So what happened here? Initially it printed 10, then it incremented by 1, 4. It printed 4, incremented by 1, and then printed 9, and then incremented by 1, and it came 10. But 10 is equal to 10, right? Not less than 10, so it did not print. Okay, so that's what is happening. Okay, so that is what is happening. So you are initializing the variable this, right? If you do not initialize, what happen? It will give us an error, right? Invalid syntax. Here it is giving invalid syntax. In other programming languages it will give you an error like garbage collection. Okay, like that, garbage value. So you'll get an error like that, but here we're getting like syntax error, so not a problem. Okay, these are the things you are doing. Okay, there are a lot of other things also there. Okay, now also we'll talk about continuous statement and break statement. Okay, continuous statement is means what? Suppose you want to, suppose you have created a loop, but suppose you're given like I greater than 10, and if it gets 10, then skip all the next statements. Okay, and you want the control to be at the beginning of the loop. Okay, so in that case you can use continue. Let me give you an example. It will help you to understand the things. Okay, so for okay, so I'm giving a range function 1 to 11. Step value is 1. By default the step value will be 1 only if you do not specify. If I modulus okay, modulus so what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm using a for loop here. It will iterate between 1 to 10. The last one it will not go, right? L minus 1, length minus 1. Okay, I've also shown you the len function. Okay, so in each iteration, what it will do, it will check I modulus 2 means what do you mean? If I modulus 2 means you are dividing the number with 2, and if it is not equal to 0, that means the odd number. If it is divisible by 2, that means it's an even number, so I'm just taking the odd number. Okay, okay, so if it is not equal to 0, okay, so we are dividing by 2 and the result is 0, right? Okay, so what is happening? Let me just print it out, you'll understand this. Okay, if I, so here in each iteration we are checking. Okay, I not equal to 2 is not equal to, L not equal to 2, not equal to 0. Okay, so if the result is 0, okay, we are getting it printed. Okay, and if it is result is not 0, okay, then it is using the continuous statement and it is going back to the beginning of the for loop. That's what is happening. So what is happening? It's coming here, so it came here, so 1, it came 1 not equal to 2, obviously not equal to 0, yes, so it is going here. Then again it came 2 not equal to 0, so 2 not equal to, sorry, 2 divided by 2, obviously it's an integer, right? So obviously even number, right? So what happened? It is false, right? So it is not going inside that continue, it is printing out. And then 3 came, so again what is happening? It is evaluating true, right? Because 3 is not even number, right? So if you divide 3 by 2, it will not be 0, right? So again it's going to continue, and it is, again the control is going to the beginning of the loop, for loop. Okay, did you understand this? Are you able to understand this code here?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
So
that.
this is not, yeah, so this is not an even number. So if it is an even number, what is happening? This is false, it is printing the even number. If it is not an even number, it is going inside the loop, and continue means it is going again to beginning of the loop. It is starting and going to the next number. It is not doing anything. Okay, and then you have the break statement. The break statement, what you need to use? The break statement you can use for loop and while loop also. Okay, break statement means you want to halt or terminate the execution in a loop. Okay, then you use break statement. Okay, so let me show you an example. I get a 10. I, enter. So what is happening? So we have the number from 1 to 10. If I is greater than 5, then it is terminating the loop. That's what it is doing. Okay, it is halting the loop. So it is going up to 5. I greater than 5. One second, what I'm doing here. 1 2 3 4 5. Yes. So 1 2 3 4 5 it is doing. 1 I is greater than 5. So it's coming 1, right? It is false, right? It is printing. 2 printing. 3 printing. 4 printing. Once become 5, right? So it is evaluating true because 5 is, it is not, sorry, 5 is printing, it is not greater than 6, it's coming, right? 6 is greater than 5, so it is true. It is going to the break statement and the loop is getting terminated. That's what is happening. Okay,
One second. If it is breaking once it is lesser than 5 and the print statement is after the break statement, then it
yeah,
should print only 5, only 4, right?
no,
Then
5 is,
how it is, I
so
am not
see,
getting.
1 2 3 4 5 is also not greater than 5, right? So if you give like here
No, what
greater
I'm
than
saying is,
equal to
if
5.
wait, what I'm saying is, if you have put the print statement before break, then that output makes sense because it is going into the loop, checking the condition and printing the value of I. Then in the second statement, again it is going into the loop, it is true, then printing the value I. But here you are going into that loop and you are checking the condition, then it is continuing till it is getting broken, and once it is broken, it is the value is 5, not 1 2 3 4 5. Then why it is printing 1 2 3 4? How it is printing 1 2 3 4? It should print only 5, right? You getting my point?
Yeah. So first what is happening? I is taking 1, right? And then it is going to the inside of this loop. Okay, iterator. Okay, and then if it is evaluating the condition statement, 1 is greater than 5, yes, it is not going inside the loop, it is printing 2 is greater than 5, equal to 3 is greater than 5, yes, 4 is greater than 5, 5 is greater than 5. Yeah, your question is
Okay, okay, okay. Got it, I got it.
5 is greater than 5 is
It is
also
not it
false,
is
right?
not executing the break, right? It is not
Yeah,
executing the
it
break.
is not executing. 5 is greater than 5 is also false, right? 5 is not greater than 5, right?
Okay, 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 okay. That print statement is outside the break statement. I got it. I thought
Yes.
the print
If
statement
I
is
give
inside the break
inside,
statement.
no, yeah, outside the statement, it is, you can see indentation.
Okay,
That's why indentation is important.
okay, okay. I did not. I
It
thought
is
the
outside
print
the,
is inside the break statement. I thought the print is inside break statement.
yes. It is outside the thing. Okay.
I got.
And suppose you want to create a list, right? I will give you another example to create a list. Suppose you want to create list one equal to, okay, you can easily create is a range function. Print. So using a range function, you know that you are getting from 0 to 9, okay, and then we're just printing. So it's we're getting a list. Okay, using a range function, we are able to create a list. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. And you guys know, right, how to get a list, right? Like suppose, I mean, how to get some items of a list, right? You know, right? By slicing it, list one, okay, and then where it is here. So you want -2, -1, -2, -3. Okay. So if you want to print out this, right? So you can see, you can print out this -1, -2, -3. So you're able to print it out. This is slicing. Okay, you can do this. Okay, this is very easy. This is very easy. How to appending an item, you already know. This is very easy. Okay, if you want to concatenate a list, how do you do that? It is also very easy. Just copy it. Okay, just put it's a list. So list one plus list. Okay. You can see the list has been concatenated 0 to 9 and 0 to 9. Okay. Okay. And suppose you want to find how many items or how many data are there in the list, right? Particular list, right? So how do you do? Print. I already mentioned this, right? But still, list 1. Okay. And you will be able to see that it's 10 items. 0 to 9 is 10 items. Okay. Okay. So you can do that. You can also create list of list. List of list is also possible. Okay. So this is there. Okay. You don't have to know much. Okay. And there is one more thing that is very,
There
yeah.
we can also print this as an when you slice it. We can also do it for if you want to select for the even number only, right? So we can slice it as in 0 to I mean, if we want to display the even numbers, then how we can slice it?
Okay, you are talking about the list, right?
Yes, yes. In the
Okay, okay.
list, let's
So
suppose if we
yeah,
want to
so
just
what you can do, let me
yeah.
tell you how what you do in that case. 1 second. For I in list 1. Okay. If for I in list 1, if in bracket I uh, 2 equal to 0, sorry, 2 equal to 0. Okay. Print. There's a thing. Yeah. I will also tell that. Okay, just let me do this first. Getting error here. Why? Okay, equal to 0. And I'm getting error print inside the function. Print. So indentation is very important. But this is actually not what I'm trying to do. Actually, I'm trying to do something else. But anyway, so let me print out. So you're able to get the even numbers, right? As you said. But I want that even number to be in list, right? So how do I do this? How do I do this? I append dot I dot I have the numbers, yes, but I want to be in a list. Okay. Okay, 1 second. List of I. I've done this in different way, not list or update. No, I don't want to work. There's another way of doing this thing. So I'm getting the so you are able to get the numbers, right? The even numbers, yes. But suppose you want to create a list out of these even numbers, right? Then how do you do this? So there must be a way to do this, right? So list dot yeah, I can do one thing. There is one more thing that I can do, which is I can create an empty list. Okay, I can create an empty list like list 2 equal to, it's an empty list. Okay, and I can append that these items to the list. Okay, list 2 dot append I can do. So how I can do? What's it? My food is here. Sorry, I by mistake I just yeah. So what I can do is list 2 sorry, list 2 dot append I, yes, but I want it to here, control X. I want to do here. Probably there is some problem I'm doing, but let's see. I might get some error. That's okay. Okay, list 2 dot append, yeah. So instead of this, I just did this, and let's see if it works or not. No, it's not working. It's not working, brother. It is working, but not the way I want to. So I just want to execute this. Okay, I want the numbers which are like the even numbers, and I want to create a list out of it. I'm getting the list out of it, but I want to print the last one. So how do I do that? I don't want to print this 0 0 to 0 to 4 because it's iterating and it's adding. Actually, that's how it works, but I also want to print the last one. Okay, last output. So that must be someone Python to do that. I'll check and let you know. Okay. So I think you are able to understand, right? This one. Hello.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So what I did, I created empty list, and then I looped to the previous list, and if I modulus 2 equal to 0, then I am appending that the even number to that empty list and then printing out the list. So the last one is this actually, but it is doing 0 2 because the second number it is appending and printing, third number is appending printing. So that is what I'm doing. If I do sleep, what happens? Sleep for 5 minutes. 1 second. Okay, sleep module is okay. Sleep. I have to check what is there is there for the sleep. There is something for sleep in Python. I'll check that out. Anybody knows what is the thing is there? Sleep command in Python. Anybody knows? Sleep in Python. So difficult actually. Yeah, something else we have. So time dot sleep. Not taking actually. Items. There must be some other way of doing that thing. I did this. How do I do this? I don't remember actually. Is there any module that I need to use? Sleep. I want to sleep for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to do it for, yeah, and then print list. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is happening? Should print right 10 second. Yeah. Okay, there is a mistake I did. You know the mistake I did? I did a mistake. What the mistake I did? I mistake list 2. I'm printing list 2, not list 1. Get any error. Getting an error. I'm not getting an error. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not working actually. It's taking time. So it is first printing the first list, which is having the 0, which is the empty list. No, not empty list. First element is 0 only. So it is just taking the second element. Then again 10 second, again 10 second, again 10 second. But that's what I don't want. I want the last one to print it, but it's not working. So I'll check somewhere. Okay. So what I did here, I imported the time module. Okay, and then I used the object. I mean the method, which is available the save method. Okay, method in time of time module, and then I just pass the 10 seconds. So every list it's created, right, it has to wait for 10 seconds. So that's what I did. Okay. So anyway, so not tomorrow, sorry, next week we'll have a session. Okay, next week we have a session on functions. Okay, functions and exception handling, and then we'll have a session on hooks. And once this is done, we'll go to we'll create our own codes, own scripts. Okay, we'll create our own scripts and we'll execute. Okay. Okay, any questions before we wrap up for today? Any questions, brothers and sisters? Any questions before we wrap up for today?
The next week also, there it will be for Python or the REST API will be continued
Python
with.
only, Python. We need to teach.
Python, right? This
Yeah,
will take another week, right? The Python to complete.
yeah, another 2 days or 3 days. Yeah, and 2 days I think probably. No,
Okay.
another week, yeah, another week, yes. It will take another week, yeah.
Okay. And post which we'll start with the REST APIs, right?
Yeah. Because see, the thing is, if I don't teach Python, right, I go straight in the course, right, you'll
Hmm.
feel like what you were doing, okay? You feel little bit, you'll not find interest. Similar to Ansible also. If I don't teach Ansible, go into straight into course, right, you'll feel like what I'm doing. Okay, so
Okay. Okay.
it's not going to be useful actually. Okay, so that's the thing. And Terraform, let's see if cloud is giving free tiers, maybe 1 or 2 years. After 2 years, maybe they give free tiers, so they lessen the fees for the CVO. Because if I want to take the CVO, right, for either AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, right, it takes a lot of money. You understand? That's a problem. The CVO thing. So that's why we like cloud automation Terraform we can show because you can get from free tiers, but NetApp is never free in Terraform in cloud. It is not. It's not. They're not going to give it for free, so you cannot test it. You understand, right? What I'm trying to say? You cannot do this until you are in a project where you have been given a task to automate your cloud volume on tap. It can be Azure NetApp files. It can be AWS FSx on tap. It can be GCP storage. It can be Azure Blob. But so that's something there. Okay. Okay, boss. We'll stop the session at tomorrow. Next week we'll connect again. Okay. And I have uploaded few sessions on NetApp and Hitachi also there in the main playlist. Please do check that because if somebody who's new to Hitachi, he'll find it difficult when you do automation, right? So if you prepare yourself, study those things, then you'll be ready. Okay, NetApp also when I do the automation, I'll show you the manually what the things we do, steps, but not how you do because that takes a lot of time. And that's the reason I have uploaded my recorded sessions of some other batch. You just go through that so that you can like metro cluster. When I show metro cluster, right, you won't understand. When I show SBMDR, if you have not done it, you won't understand what I'm doing in automation, right? So that's what you have to check. And also I will use a dynamic inventory. There are two dynamic inventories in Ansible. One is your AWX tower, okay, and sorry Ansible tower and AWX, okay. Ansible tower is basically enterprise level product. That means it's a paid product, and AWS is free. So we'll work on AWS. It's similar, but it does not cost us money. It's open source. AWS. We'll talk about AWS. Okay, and in many projects you might be using workflow automation, which comes with Occam, using which you can create automate your Ansible jobs, right? And some projects, my previous student Prashant, right, he's not using workflow automation. George, he is using Terraform in CVO. So they're all using something. Okay, George is in Netherlands, and there is one more person both in the US. But the main thing is we have this automation is being used in many projects. Okay, and even though if it's not being used, you can still propose to your manager and show your some idea or something you can create. Okay, so you can do, and then they'll if they approve, then you can do it. Okay, in our project we have Ansible and Python. We do not have Terraform. Even though we have CVO, we don't have Terraform. Even using Ansible only, I'm doing CVO, but it's not recommended. Terraform is much easier for CVO. Okay, okay, bro. So I will stop the session here. We'll connect the session next week. In the meantime, my humble request to you is that please study the sessions. Okay, so you'll be ready. Okay, yeah. Chalo, bye. Bye.